1. Did you go to secondary high school near to where you lived? Why not? Answer. Yes, in fact, both of my primary and secondary schools were in the same locality where I lived in. My elementary school was only 15 minutes walk away while my high school was 25 minutes walk away from my home. I went there as my parents thought these were good schools and I should not travel far without them accompanying me every day. So I ended up going to schools which were nearby my living place. 2. What did you like about your secondary, high school? Why? Answer. I had many friends and my days in my high school were great. Moreover, most of our teachers were committed to teaching us and I have learned so many things from them. I was in the golden period of my life and enjoyed everything I did at my secondary school. Nice teachers, good friends and an inquisitive mind made my high school days some of the best days of my life. 3. Tell me about anything you didn't like at your school. Answer. I liked almost everything at school except for the fact that we were obliged to take the acting class once a week. I am not against extracurricular activities and I believe that acting classes are helpful for many, but making it mandatory to all is something I did not like. I enjoyed watching theaters and acts, but I never wanted to an actor, so hated the acting rehearsal. 4. How do you think your school could be improved? Why not? Answer. I think my school was already great and one of the best places to be in my teenage days. I loved my school and adored my teachers who were very knowledgeable and helpful. Our school did not have separate playgrounds for junior and senior students and that was one aspect that bothered me. I believe that's something the school needs to address as junior pupils often can't play when seniors occupy the field. A separate ground could solve the problem. Part 2 Questions and Model Answers. Describe something you don't have now but would really like to own in the future. You should say, what this thing is, how long you have wanted to own it, where you first saw it, and explain why you would like to own it. Model Answer. I would like to thank you for allowing me to talk about something I do not own now but desire to have in the future. I must say, this is an interesting topic to talk about. During my preparation time for this topic, I have thought about a few things that I fancy, but finally decided to talk about one thing that I dream the most to have in the future, and this one thing is a private car. My family and I live in a metropolitan city and traveling is an everyday activity for all of us. Sometimes, daily commute becomes cumbersome due to the inadequate number of transportation and unbearable traffic congestion, not to mention the time it kills on the road. So, as soon as I got admitted to high school, I desired to own an automobile. However, I was aware of the fact that I would have to be minimum 18 to have a valid driving license and I was barely 14 at that time. So in a sense, I wanted to have a car since I was a high school student but was not eligible to have it until I turned 18. Now that I am 22, I want it more than anything else in the world, materialistically speaking. I can't recall when was the first time I saw a car. As I heard from my grandmother, my mother gave birth to me in a hospital and on her way back home, they hired a taxi. So, it's silly but true that, I saw a car when I was barely a week old. However, I can remember riding in a car when I was 4 or 5 years old, if the memory was not something that developed in my brain by hearing stories from others. Where did I saw it first? Well, I can't say it accurately either, but my best guess is that I got interested in a car when I first rode in an automobile in my early childhood. That was my uncle's vehicle who came to visit us and gave us a ride to a nearby shopping complex. It was a black car but I am not sure what model it was. Part 3 Questions and Model Answers. Discussions. Topics. Owning things. 1. What types of things do young people in your country most want to own today? Why is this? Answer. I think that just like any other countries in the world, the young people in my country also like to own houses, cars, TVs, computers, smartphones and any other assets. They want to own those things primarily because some of them think that they are the absolute necessities for their daily lives while others think these possessions would make their lives more comfortable and easy. Some also want to own those things because they think that those possessions would make them look more valuable and important in the eyes of others. 2. Why do some people feel they need to own things? Answer. Some people feel that they need to own things because they don't want to depend on others for the things which they actually require in order to live a respectable life in this world. Some people would also want to own things because those are what their family members and loved ones need. Besides, some people also feel that they need to own different things because they have worked really hard, so they just deserve those things or assets. Finally, I think that it is just human nature to own things, in order to just go on with their daily lives, whether they just want them or need them. 3. Do you think that owning lots of things makes people happy? Why? Answer: no, I don't really think that owning lots of things makes people happy, mainly because happiness is only a state of mind, and a person can choose to be happy and satisfied even if he or she doesn't own anything or own very little. In fact, many events and evidence suggest that it is the intense desires of trying to own a lot of things that make people unhappy by adding more and unnecessary pressure as well as stress into their daily lives. Besides, once people do own many things, they then actually become even more stressed and occupied with managing and securing those things, instead of enjoying the regular things in life, as they used to, before owning them. Salaries for skilled people. 1. Do you think television and films can make people want to get new possessions? Why do they have this effect? Answer: yes, I do think that televisions and films can push people to want to get new possessions in their lives, even if they don't need them most of the times, primarily because these electronic media present things in a very glamorous manner in order to leave some psychological impacts in the minds of their viewers. In fact, these electronic media are pretty much born to tickle the not-so-desirable tendency of owning things in humans by playing with the words and images, as well as by stretching the truths, which should be stopped immediately, in my opinion. 2. Are there any benefits to society of people wanting to get new possessions? Why do you think this is? Answer: there are indeed some benefits to societies and some degrees of people wanting to get new things, as they seem to open the doors for innovations and new opportunities in order to carry forward a greater human agenda, which is to create a better world for everybody. But unfortunately, most people are taken for a free ride in the name of it, since it is only bringing more and more dissatisfaction and unhappiness among the common people. However, the worst part of this new tendency is that most of the people, who are becoming victims to this evil scheme, don't even realize this, which is indeed a shame for the entire human race. 3. Do you think people will consider that having lots of possessions is a sign of success in the future? Why? Answer: yes, I have no doubt in my mind that more and more people will consider having or owning lots of things as a sign of success in the future, primarily because they are becoming more and more materialistic by every passing day, if not every hour. Besides, common human qualities like good moral values, compassion and empathy are becoming more and more scarce every day, courtesy to the curse of this modern life, and as a result, they don't really find any values in doing anything else other than just amassing their wealth for themselves, by hook or by crook, in order to be successful, as if there is no tomorrow. Such a shame.